Yeah, man. It's just sometimes you dream, and your dreams don't always come true, but sometimes they do. And when they do, it's quite a sweet feeling. Peyton Watson continues to take a star leap. Is he a star in the making? Jamal Murray bounces back with a great second half versus the Washington Wizards. Ryan, I don't know. Is this the Denver Nuggets' first Munder of the season? They only allowed 97 points, y'all. Y'all know what it is. That's Ryan. I'm Swipa. And this is Locked on Nuggets. Let's get it.
You are Locked on Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Locked on Nuggets. This is your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Swiper, with Ryan Blackburn. We're here talking about your Denver Nuggets as they get off of a thrilling win versus the Washington Wizards. After coming off back-to-back losses, the Denver Nuggets on the first game of a back-to-back wanted to get off on the right foot, get a win in Washington. And by the way, welcome back, Jonas Valanciunas. Thank you so much for bringing a center back to the NBA court for Denver. Ryan, brother, number one, how are you doing, man? How you feeling about today's game?
Man, I'm good. It was you guys did a fantastic episode earlier today, so nice to we got some double dipping for Swipa today, and it was nice to hear and nice to chat with you. Jonas coming back immediately making an impact was really nice. This game wasn't about him, but the way the game started was really cool in that Denver had a pick and roll, man. They had somebody who was just dominating on the glass and did a lot of good things. So just having that option is so valuable. He had 9 rebounds in 22 minutes. There's a lot of great stuff to talk about, but of course, you know, we got to start with Peyton Watson, my guy.
Yeah, man, it's just been an incredible run for Peyton Watson, man. I think that as the Nuggets have continued to give him more opportunity, one of the things that I think is most apparent about today's game is his increased confidence level. Because Peyton Watson, you know, he's pulling these shots from, you know, not wide open threes, but at least 3 of them today were pretty contested. And I think especially given the fact that the Nuggets, they couldn't hit threes. Watson had 6 threes today, y'all. The Nuggets made 3 threes outside of Peyton Watson's threes today. 3 of them.
Had 2 of them. So
and Jamal had 2. So I think that kind of gives people an idea, because even in the first half, you know, the numbers are the numbers, but Peyton Watson was carrying offensively. Peyton Watson had 35 of their 107 points today. And if I would have told you that Peyton Watson was going to be, by year 4, midway through the season, scoring 33% of the Denver Nuggets points in wins, I think a lot of people wouldn't have believed me to start the year.
Of course not. Like, this is the skill development here. It's not like it's unprecedented or anything like that. I don't want to put it like completely over the top, because Peyton, we knew that this was capable of him. We knew that this was something within his talent level, but just the direction that, like, the Christian Brown contract situation went, Peyton Watson's contract situation went, sort of the way that his role was trending. I didn't really expect this to happen, but you kept the faith, and it was just a wonderful game to be able to watch from him. He went down so many times in this game. It looked like he was in copious amounts of pain, only missed 8 minutes. He played 40, had 35 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks. All 4 of those came in the first half. He was rim protecting like a boss. He was dominating Alex Sarr. It was actually really cool to see. 10 of 16 from the field, 6 of 8 from 3, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Folks, that is one of the best games that any Nugget has played all season, let alone Peyton Watson.
So give me an idea, Ryan. So as somebody who watches every dribble of this team, well, I hope you do. I don't know what you're doing in your home or at the stadium. You know, they serve media food, so maybe
I look at the charts a lot. I'll say
exactly. That. In terms of 3-point shot and jump shot, where is he on your trust scale as a jump shooter for the Nuggets right now?
Oh my God. I mean, well, it was Tim Hardaway Jr., but he's falling rapidly down the list. No, I'm just kidding. It's got to be Jamal and then Tim Hardaway Jr. and then probably Jokic and then Peyton Watson. Like, I think any Jamal jumper, I'm just expecting to go in at this point.
Yeah.
Any Tim Hardaway jumper, when he actually gets an open, clean look, I feel really good about. But Peyton's right there, man. It's hard to really complain about any of the jump shots that he's taking right now because they are in rhythm. It feels like he's not forcing up a lot of them. It's just being more aggressive in the types of threes that he's taking. And some of the spot ups that he's getting, like, again, these are tough shots and they're ones that he's going to have to face in the playoffs. And so the fact that he is hitting them now and it's really setting the table for what I think can hopefully be a very awesome run. I guess I kind of forgot about Cam Johnson as a matter of course, but he's up there. Both of those guys are kind of in the same vicinity right now.
So just for your satisfaction, because I know that you love numbers. Right now, I'm checking Synergy. I don't know if these numbers are including today yet, but as a jump shooter, Peyton Watson is currently ranked 86th percentile as a jump shooter. He's 1.18 points per possession on jump shots.
If you said that before the season and you just took what his defensive skill set was and then added that level of jump shooter, like this is a clear starting caliber, borderline star type player with just that. And it doesn't even include all of the dribbling and creation and some of the passes they was making today too. It was just a lot, like a complete game from Peyton.
And on catch and shoot this year, he's averaging 1.39 points per possession as a catch and shoot shooter, which is 96th percentile. And on unguarded shots, 92nd percentile, 1.52. But on guarded catch and shoot jumpers, 1.26 points per possession, brother. He's turned himself into a legitimate weapon as an outside jump shooter, coupled with the fact that today, not one, not two, not three, 4 blocks, and he had 2 on Alex Sarr today that were monstrous, including on one he tried to dunk over him. I think it is just getting to a point now. And by the way, if you are not aware, Nuggets fan, there's a play that David Adelman had built specifically for Cam Johnson to start the year off. They would run basically back-to-back DHOs, and then the ball handler will set a screen for Cam Johnson on like a little pin down, and Johnson would run around the center, and it's going to either lead to a shot for him, a layup, a dunk, or a kickoff for the short roll, or going to be a wide-open three-point shooter in the corner. They're running that for Peyton today. Peyton today got that 3 straight possessions, scored on 2 of them, and then found Jamal Murray in the corner on the right side for another one as well. So they're like trusting him with more of the offense. And I think Peyton Watson, even though his handles, they're still developing, it's not clean yet. Like he's still turning the ball over. But I feel like, Ryan, like what I said to Matt in the chat, I just feel like he's so early in his development. Those things will clean up as time goes on.
It's so weird where the Nuggets are right now because they have so much pressure facing this season. And I actually talked about this on Pickaxe, that there's so much financial pressure that's the Nuggets are facing going forward. Maybe not specifically this year, although they'd like to duck the tax. But like so much of this financial pressure is putting a really heavy emphasis on being great now, being great in the moment. And Peyton Watson's close. He's right there. There's a few things, and like the ball handling stuff has got to clean up. Like that's definitely something that teams are going to attack going forward as he continues to develop. But like, if you can clean that up, if you can continue to tie in like understanding when and how to attack and the off balance layups versus the floaters and things like that, like he has really started to make a lot of progress there. You were right about it, man. Like this is a very talented player, somebody who could potentially be with the Nuggets for a long time doing some crazy things. It's a very scary prospect to not have him on your team going forward. And yet the Nuggets are going to have some questions to answer right up within these next couple weeks, actually.
Yeah, I think today, we'll talk about Jamal Murray on the other side in the second segment, but Jamal, I think, needed a boost today, just, from maybe an energy conservation standpoint. Obviously, he might play tomorrow in the second game of a back-to-back. But I think the fact that David Adelman is able to turn down the Jamal Murray, hey, we need you to create advantages for this team. You need to go score. You need to drive. You need to dribble. Hey, Peyton Watson, let's turn yours up a little bit. That way we give you opportunity to create and really to do the things that we were hoping Cam Johnson would do to come into the season.
No, there's no doubt about it. Like, it's the skill growth has been very clear. He has been willing and up to the task. And when you're thinking about who could have potentially done this for Denver, it needed to be Peyton Watson. And so glad that they saw it really early when Christian Braun went down. Like, there was a time back in the like early stretches of the season in mid-November when Christian Braun went down and then Cam Johnson went down. They decided, no, we're just going to let Peyton run with this thing. Like, that was a conversation that we asked David Adelman about at one of the home games, when he could have gone like starter by platoon, starter by matchup. They could have like picked and choose matchups and done that thing, but they let it run with Peyton. And I'm so glad that they did, because it does it make things more complicated from a financial perspective? Sure. But they helped Peyton Watson earn a lot of money.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited to talk about Jamal on the other side too, because I think, today was a prime example of like, hey, we need to pace you a little bit. And then he turned it up in the second half. We'll talk about all that and more here. Locked on Nuggets. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever just to hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax full service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert start to finish without the stress or guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you could meet with a local TurboTax expert in person or connect online. They handle everything from W-2s to self-employed forms and work to get you every deduction. You can upload your document and go about your day and get updates right in the TurboTax app. It's a huge time saver, and it gives real peace of mind knowing an expert is handling it. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in. If a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year, just file by February 28th. Take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit TurboTax.com/local to book your appointment today. We'll be back for more here. Locked on Nuggets. We're back here for the second segment of Locked on Nuggets. Shout out to you all with my friend Ryan Blackburn talking about your Denver Nuggets winning versus the Washington Wizards in a very good game. By the way, y'all, make sure you continue to tap in with us every single day. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, give us a like, share, and subscribe. That way more and more people can listen to the great content being made here at Locked on Nuggets. Also, if you're listening to this on Apple, iTunes, and Spotify, give us a 5-star review. That way more people can listen to the great content being made here at Locked on Nuggets. And thank you for making Locked on Nuggets your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked on the #1 sports podcast network. If you haven't already, go check out our Everydayer Club. All you got to do is go to lockedonnuggets.supercast.com, and then you can join and learn more. Ryan, Jamal Murray today, I would say, had a very game. And this is not like
fair game at the beginning for sure.
Right. It wasn't a bad game. It just was like, oh, Jamal, you're sleepwalking into 24-5-4 with 2 steals and a block. And it's kind of like, he was efficient. He made 40% of his threes today. He was 7 of 12 from 2, which is over 50%. And I think that his pace and control was pretty good. Now, he had 4 turnovers, and in particular, some passing turnovers that were not great in the first half. But Ryan, when you think about Jamal's game today, how did you feel about it?
He needed to wake up. Like, it was a pretty slow start for Jamal. I would say for Aaron Gordon as well. Those guys, it's not a surprise when you're going to face Washington. You get somebody back like Jonas Valanciunas, and you're really hoping, take the burden off, take the pressure off somebody just a little bit. And then in the first half, when Murray struggled, and in addition to that, Tim Hardaway, Jalen Pickett, and Bruce Brown struggled. I noted in our Discord that you guys should all check out lockedonnuggets.supercast.com, that it was just frustrating. Like, because Murray, I'm sure, he's not a selfish person at all, but he'd probably like to be able to take off the Wizards game and not have to go balls to the wall in this kind of environment. But he had to, and he slowly started to figure out. It felt like he needed to wake up in this one, but second half he had 19 points. He had 5 in the first half, and just I thought, like, honestly, I do think that his defense was pretty good throughout, and like Denver's defense as a whole, they only allowed 97 points. It's actually the second time that they have had a munder from game 4 of the season versus the New Orleans Pelicans. But like, I thought his defense was pretty good throughout the game, other than a couple of allowing guys off of screens, and everybody, I think, went along with it. So good stuff in recovery from Jamal. The Nuggets obviously needed this game, and they got it, and Jamal was a big reason why.
Yeah, I think, Jamal, his worst defensive possessions today were the ones that came when they didn't have a center on the floor, which I think continues to communicate exactly what I've been feeling about this team. I don't know if you saw this point on the show today, but I was talking to Matt, and he was crediting the defense, and I told him that I actually don't love the way the defense has been since Jokic has gone out, and some of it is because they can't rebound. They're the worst rebounding team in the league, literally, since Jokic left the lineup. The worst in the league. I think they're averaging 37 rebounds a game. And I said I felt like teams are scoring 130 points per possession on offensive rebounds. Matt looked it up while he was on the show. Ryan, guess what the number was of what teams have been scoring since January 1st on offensive rebounds?
Gonna guess 130 points per 100 possessions.
128 points per 100 possession.
That's pretty good.
128.
That's pretty good. And it makes a lot of sense, because I do think that both of you have a point where, Denver's defense is like, I think it's working harder and it looks better when they're out there, even though the numbers are worse, because every single time they get a stop, it's a chore trying to get that defensive rebound. And there were plenty of times, like outside of the first 6 minutes of the game where Valanciunas really cleaned it up, like it felt like they were still behind the 8 ball in terms of grabbing some of these defensive rebounds. Washington still grabbed 14, although Denver did force a whole bunch of misses, obviously, and that really helped. So they out-rebound Washington 46-42 in this game. But isn't it funny that once they get a center back on the floor and somebody that can just take up some of that burden, it makes it a little bit easier for guys like Spencer Jones, who I thought did a great job on the glass in the fourth quarter, just go and find some opportunities to get some timely rebounds as a result.
Valanciunas in the first quarter had 8 points and 4 rebounds, and it was just kind of like, wow, this is amazing. You know what I mean? Like, you can throw the ball into a center and they can just go score, or you can get offensive rebounds. He had 4 offensive rebounds today. And dare I say, that's probably the most offensive rebound they had by one person in a game since Jokic left. Yeah. So I think, like, in totality, what I feel when I watch games like this, Ryan, is that this team they have everything they need, but the only position I don't feel 100% good about right now is the backup point guard position. How did you feel, and how have you been feeling about kind of Bruce, his engagement, his involvement today, the defense, the offense, all of it?
Yeah, so, I mean, basically what they did for much of this game, there was a very short amount of time at the end of the first quarter where Bruce was the backup point guard, where he was the guy who was handling the ball. It was bad. It was right at the end of the first quarter. It allowed a Washington run. Then Jalen Pickett came back in, and he was the guy who staggered. And then from then on, it was either Jalen or Jamal who was on the floor at all times. So I would credit those guys with point guard duties for the most part. I think that Bruce was actually better today in some of his other stuff, still struggling to really finish around the rim for some reason. But he has, like, he had grabbed 6 rebounds, including those 4 offensive rebounds that you're talking about, along with 2 assists and 2 steals, and some of the good stuff that he did in the open court, just like hustling and chasing guys around. So I give Bruce a little bit of a pass in this one. Jalen, I think, was a little bit shaky, but like, he still was plus 16 and was on the floor for a lot of the good stuff that they did.
Him being able to shoot the ball means a lot when you're playing next to Murray. That's really a lot of that is.
Yeah, and like, he didn't shoot it well tonight, but he set the table well for Aaron Gordon on a dunk, for Valanciunas on some of these plays in the middle of the floor. Sometimes you just have to take the pressure off. I do think that, like, some of the turnovers that Jalen had were horrendous. So he'll have to get those cleaned up, but it's not usually a part of his game. So there's some figuring out of his game that other teams are doing right now with him in the lineup that he's going to have to clean up. But the fortunate thing for Denver is that when everybody comes back and Christian Brown is back and Cam Johnson is back and Nikola Jokic is back, like they may be able to go to non-point guard groups. They may be able to go to very small lineups, or like Bruce at the 1 is a little bit better when he's playing next to Joker instead of Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah, on the other side, I'm actually going to ask you about that because there was a particular lineup they played today that I think was very interesting and maybe a good sign for what they might want to do in the future. We'll talk about all that more here to Locked On Nuggets. New year, new systems. This is the time when a lot of us look at the messier parts of how we run our business and think there has to be a better way. And there is. Streamlining your communication is one of the quickest upgrades you can make. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Q-U-O, the smarter way to run your business communications. Because when your team is reachable, organized, and communicating in one place, you're not just working cleaner, you're creating more opportunities to connect with customers. Now, I love how simple Quo makes everything. Your whole team can call and text from one shared business number, so nothing gets missed. It works right from your phone or computer, and you could even keep your existing number. It's no surprise that Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses, from solo operators to growing teams. So make this year where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free plus 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/LockedOnNBA. That's QUO.com/LockedOnNBA. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. We'll be back for the final segment here at Locked On Nuggets.
Is it just me, or did your voice get deeper during that read?
Well, I try to engage with the ad read in a way that is a little cinematic so that the readers don't get annoyed or bored with it. And I'm also doing, for some casting. If you're listening to this Quo or FanDuel or whoever, or Wayfair, and you say, hey, that guy's a really good reader. Hey, I've been reading professionally out loud for years. If you would like a commercial voice, I can give you one. If you want to talk about the brand new deal that you can get Ryan Blackburn exclusive, I got you today. All you got to do is call 1-800-RYAN Blackburn, and I can get you the best deal possible.
Good Lord. This is quite something.
Oh, man, this was a good game. Ryan, it's just good to get a win. And obviously they got a back-to-back tomorrow. But I feel good about where the team is. I think they're, given where everything could have been, like the dangers of losing Jokic and then losing Valanciunas, Brown, and then obviously Cam Johnson being down. I mean, you just go up and down of the list. They could have been much worse off. But, Ryan, they're 8-5 without Jokic. It's a good record. They have some good wins in there. I think they should feel good about the amount of wins that they gotten.
Of course. Like, how could you not? It's 8-5 without Jokic. And obviously you played Jonas Valanciunas on the first of those games where he was then out, and then the last of those games where he was back. And so, like, him only missing that stretch of time, and now Jokic, I think, gets a little bit more flexibility. If they had lost this game, I know it's a road game. I know it's the front end of a back-to-back, and you're thinking about some things. But, like, if they lose this game and you go 3 in a row that you've lost into a back-to-back against the Bucks and Giannis, then you start to feel a little bit worse. So them kind of breaking it up and doing enough in order to just maintain status quo, I do think is very important. So we'll see what it continues to look like and how it continues to feel. I do think that there are some trends. Like, there's some good things that are happening. Obviously, what Peyton Watson's doing right now, what Jamal Murray continues to do is great. When Jokic comes back, I'll feel better. I think a lot of Nuggets fans will feel better, of course. It's unsurprising when the best player in the world comes back. So we'll see when he does ultimately show up. But he was out there on the court warming up before the game. That was an encouraging sign. I would say that puts him probably within, like, maybe not this road trip, but certainly a possibility.
What was the Nuggets record before Jokic went out? Was it 22? It was 22-10, 22-10?
Yeah, I think 22-10.
So 22-10, and they had some of those losses that are obviously like the Bulls and all that, everything in there.
Yeah.
So just for your own comfort and peace. So when Jokic was playing this year, they were on a 56 win pace, basically. Without him, they're on a 50 win pace. So they've been able to somehow manufacture some wins in there and at least hold serve.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, there's a lot of credit that goes around. I do think they've gotten a little bit of clutch variance, clutch luck during this stretch where, I mean, those guys have been shooting the ever loving hell out of the ball. So it definitely helps that they've been able to get some of those to go. Jamal Murray's made insanely clutch plays. Peyton Watson's made clutch plays. Aaron Gordon's made clutch plays. Tim Hardaway's made clutch plays. Like, a lot of these guys have been doing really well in these tight games. And they've also played a relatively weak schedule from a talent standpoint. There's no getting around that. But you play who's in front of you.
We were so worried about it because of how many games they were going to be playing that, like, this could be a real issue. And by the way, Ryan, in this month, I believe they're playing a total of, let me check the calendar again.
There should be, I think, 17
games this month. And they play 11 next month. Just think if this would have happened next month, you'd been an all-star, so it would have been worse, but it would have been like, at least it's not like crazy. Busiest month of the year. And they've gotten 8 wins so far. That's a big deal.
Oh, 100%. Like, the way the Nuggets have been able to manage this has been really good. I hope that they continue to take this momentum and finish the All-Star breaks, like before the All-Star break, strong. Because the one thing that you saw it a little bit in the first quarter and the first half tonight, where the moment you got back somebody, it was the moment where everybody else was like, sigh of relief. And then they almost got in the first half by the Washington Wizards. So there's some things that they're going to have to finish strong on, but they've got a really good leadership going around, and they've got a lot of talent that they can still manage. And there's certainly some growth. Like, Tim Hardaway is not going to shoot over for the rest of his career. Like, he's going to get back to being a little bit better. And they just need a couple of strong performances between now and when a couple weeks from now, when All-Star break rolls around.
Oh boy, man. I think Adam deserves a lot of credit too. He's really been having to endure a lot. They ran a 9-man rotation. I will say I have been a little surprised that DeRon Holmes just left the rotation, given like you're not really like, I understand you're trying to get wind, but it's also like you're kind of in development season too, because you're developing Peyton. You're obviously developing Jalen Pickett still. Like, you're still kind of allowing for these players to play. I was hoping that we would see more DeRon Holmes over the stretch to at least give them another big, another defender, another shooter on the floor to help them, but maybe he just felt like he didn't need it.
Well, not only did they not play DeRon Holmes, but Zeke Naji only played 10 minutes, and they are playing, like, it's either going to be Jonas Valanciunas or they're going to try to play Aaron Gordon at the 5. Like, he played basically the entire quarter at the 5 in, like, when Jonas left with his 5th foul at the beginning of that 4th quarter. So there is still some pressure. Jonas only played 21. I'm sure he could ramp up just a little bit more. I'm not sure what they're going to do during the back-to-back tomorrow. What I hope is that Aaron Gordon does not play. He played 34 minutes. Peyton Watson played 40 and looks a little bit beat up out there. He had some really awkward falls where I thought that there was an injury coming. So I hope that he gets some time off. I hope, like, if Jamal Murray wants to take a night off, then I think that he should get one too. I think that's a perfect opportunity for all 3 of DeRon Holmes, Julian Strawther, Hunter Tyson to come in off the bench and see if you could steal one from the Bucks once again. If you can't, so be it. But yeah, this is again, the long game with this. You do not want to focus too much on the short game.
So given what Jokic looked like today and he's traveling with the team, like, he's on the road. That was probably when I saw that video today, I was like, he's on the road trip. They come back to Denver next week, like on Tuesday, right? So
yeah, 4 games.
You could have stayed home. Did you come back on the road trip?
I still say no. I maybe Memphis. Like, if there was a game, it would be Memphis. I very much doubt that he would come back for a second night of the back-to-back in Milwaukee. Now that would be crazy. It would be like, it's on Prime, so it would be very interesting.
Like Jamal Murray sends Jokic back.
that would be something. And so I don't know. Like, league's not going to be able to penalize the Nuggets if they do rest guys. So I'm not necessarily worried about them taking that one. But yeah, who knows if he's feeling good by Sunday in Memphis and the Nuggets are thinking, hey, well, you're basically at your 4-week timetable, then hey, sky's the limit with him. He could come back basically whenever he wants to. They've done a good job of not rushing this thing. So we'll see. He was moving pretty well in the pregame shooting tonight.
Yeah, they need to be 10-5 to get to 40-20. Do you think they hit it? Jokic come back in the next 2 games, we'll say.
No, I don't think they hit it, but like they have a very built-in excuse.
Sure. Yeah, I'm excited to see kind of what happens over the next week, man. There's going to be a lot of really good basketball, y'all. Today was a great game. Peyton Watson played well. AG, Jonas Valanciunas played well. Obviously, Jamal Murray played well. Another great win. They moved to 30-15 on the year, which is a pretty good record given all of the things they've been through.
Yeah, I mean, they are pacing for that 40-20, so we'll see if they could get to it. I'm curious to see how they handle the next 14 games or so. But man, it's been fun. It is funny how you could go from not you, it's the royal you, because it's really just me.
Right.
I was not happy after they lost to the Lakers, and it was purely a Lakers thing. It was not because I thought the Nuggets were super disappointing or whatnot, but it's just a really nice thing when they could just immediately get back somebody and win a basketball game and win it by 10 as opposed to being in the clutch all the way through. It's nice to see.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not going to count for a clutch win because it was 7 points the guy that got closest to in the last 5 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay.
Hey, they didn't incur clutch time versus the Wizards. That's a good thing.
All right, y'all. That's going to do it. This is Locked On Nuggets. That's Ryan. I'm Swipa. Y'all know what time it is. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Give us a 5-star review on Apple, iTunes, and Spotify. Y'all know what it is. See you on the other side.